Welcome back to McCarthy Performance. Yeah, a little bit busy in the shop, but we got the 383 pretty much ready to be prepped. Cam bearings, soft plugs, probably be doing that tomorrow. It's all honed out. Got pretty much everything detailed. Broke some of the sharp edges off the block. Broke the sharp edges off. Laid back the oiling holes a little bit. Got that one pretty much ready to rock and roll. Of course, you can see where I've cleaned up the castings a little bit and widened out the oiling hole and smoothed that all out. There's an intersection in here that comes down straight as this goes into an angle. I always check that on the cap and open it up. That one's been done. Got another 383 that I'm doing. We've got her up on the mill. We're true decking it right now. Then it'll go into the boring bar. This is an old Storm. It's pretty slow, but it does a pretty good job, so we let that run while I'm doing another job in the shop. We're working on cylinder heads, but I've got this here going on in the hone right now. This is a Subaru engine. Okay, back on the Subaru here, I thought I'd give somebody a heads up that maybe he's never dealt with one of these. My honing head will go down and it can flex enough that it'll crash into the webbing on this. Now, I made a kind of a half-ass stop right there because my stop doesn't go all the way up that high. Okay, now this thing is like 19 inches, which is quite tall, but it's a boxer engine. So anyhow, I didn't want to crash into the webbing and ruin my stones, so I had some thin wood, and I traced out the piston and I cut it down and I put a slot in it, or notch in it, I should say, so oil could run down. Really, I tried to fish one out on the video, but I needed both hands to do it. Some cylinder heads. I'll be doing the profilers. Have the Edelbrocks on the seat and guide machine right now, the old Tobin Art. Okay, we got the Storm Vulcan in the background cutting the deck on a 383, soon to be. I'm going to do some work on the Edelbrock E-heads. This is the second head. I'm cutting the intake. Then I'll set up for the exhaust and I'll cut the exhaust. But anyways, the other head's already cut, so we're all set up on this guide. Like I've said in past videos, I set up for each guide. I don't just set up for the intake angles and just blast all the intakes. I set up for each individual one. They can be off a little bit. I like to make sure that the valve job is as good as I can humanly possibly get it. I also use a brush and brush out the guide holes before I put my carbide pilot in. And I do have a plunge gauge. Excuse the reach. Plunge gauge. I made it. It's on the other video. I think I spoke about that. To verify each single one, I have a dial indicator on the quill, but I check it. This is pretty close, but sometimes I find verifying it with another dial gauge, sometimes there's a little bit of, I don't know what to call it, but this doesn't always land exactly every single time. It's within a couple thousandths. So we'll give her a lift. I'll set up on it and cut the seat. This is a variable machine that I converted over. The gearbox was blown out of it. That's been in other videos that I've talked about. The air compressor's going on. right on the money. Sorry about the air compressor. I'm not going to edit that out. I know it's annoying as hell. We got the first one done. We're going to hit the second one. Get the machine centered up as good as I can get it. I'm onto my load spring here. I've got a spring that loads the cutter up. Make sure that I'm in the center of the ball on the driver. And here we go. Okay. Like I said prior to this, these E-heads, I don't know what to make of them, honestly. They're going to see some. They're going to see some love. They definitely need it, and they're going to get it here. Yeah, I was looking for a towel. I'm going to do a little more chamber work to them than what they did, obviously. And that'll be for another video. Well, the guides ain't all kittywampus, because I most certainly have seen that before on aftermarket heads, so I got to give it to them there. They're relatively close to what I have to measure with. They're close. Everything else is a little janky, but that looks fairly decent. I like to go down a little bit and make sure the machine is centered. Point of where the spring is loaded up on pushing up on the body. Excuse me. This one's coming in awful quick. This is we're 1/1000th away from zero. I'm going to stop it right there. We'll check them all, verify them all. I'm basically going off the other head, measuring that head. I've got everything zeroed to that head, so off the new deck surface. So the valve job between the heads for height should be less than 3/1000ths of an inch. Make sure that this guide is good with the cylinder head. To the other guide, I should say. It's off a little bit, but not a heck of a lot. Boy, it's right on the money. So this way looks really good on there. Yep. Good to go. Usually these ductile iron seats don't give you too much problem. The old GM Winners cylinder heads, the old high performance aluminum heads, boy, they can be miserable. Them seats cut miserable. These are ductile iron. These cut pretty nice. Next to beryllium. Beryllium cuts beautiful. Well, that one says we're 10/1000ths away from zero, and that one there wasn't quite 10/1000ths. We're at zero there, so we'll stop. Okay, now we'll verify it with my plunge gauge. I can tell that the valve job was crappy. And these were on Edelbrock heads, and he bought them assembled from Edelbrock. So this is what they look like out of my grinder. Well, thanks for watching. Sure nothing loaded up on my cutter. We got an old wore out piston pin stone for honing out piston pins, and it's good for keeping the crap off the cutter, so I don't have to take it off, and then just give it a couple swipes with that wore out stone, and it puts her back in working condition. Kind of want to keep an eye on that, because if you don't, it can tear up the finish on your seats can suffer from that. We're going to have to go down 2000s on this one, because it didn't clean up all the way, but it's cleaned up now, and I can live with that on the exhaust valve. When they start getting past 5,000, then it's a whole different story. But that one's all done, other than the chamber work that I've mentioned that I'm going to do to them, because they're horrendous. Well, thank you for watching my videos, and if you don't like them, tell your friends and maybe they'll sign up.